Today we will adventure into the rest of chapter 4, beginning with verse 12. Now when Jesus heard that John had been arrested, he withdrew to Galilee. He left Nazareth and made his home in Capernaum by the sea, in the territory of Zebulun and Naphtali, so that what had been spoken through the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled. Land of Zebulun, land of Naphtali, on the road by the sea across the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people who sat in darkness have seen great light, and for those who sat in the region and shadow of death, light has dawned. Unquote. From that time Jesus began to proclaim, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven has come near." And as he walked by the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who was called Peter, and Andrew, his brother, casting a net into the sea, for they were fishermen. And he said to them, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of people." Immediately they left their nets and followed him. As he went from there, he saw two other brothers, James the son of Zebedee and his brother John, in the boat with their father Zebedee, mending their nets. And he called them. Immediately they left the boat and their father and followed him. Jesus went throughout Galilee, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the good news of the kingdom, and curing every disease and every sickness among the people. So his fame spread throughout all Syria, and they brought to him all the sick, those who were afflicted with various diseases and pains, demoniacs, epileptics, and paralytics, and he cured them. And great crowds followed him from Galilee, the Decapolis, Jerusalem, Judea, and from beyond the Jordan. Thus ends the reading of the word. People love it when I do maps, so I'm going to do a map. I'm going to do a map for you. Okay. This is the Sea of Galilee. It's 13 miles long and 7 miles wide. This is the land around Jericho and the Jordan, where Jesus was baptized by John the Baptist, just a smidge off from the Dead Sea in the Jordan Valley. Now, Jesus leaves the Jordan Valley, the area of Jericho, and goes 80 miles north to Capernaum, which is on the north coast of the Sea of Galilee. You're looking at the map. On the west coast, on the western side, beyond the mountains, is Nazareth, where Jesus was brought up. So now he's about 25 to 30 miles from that hometown. Over here, on the eastern border, which is now called Jordan, are the cities of the Decapolis. Most of them. There's one on the western side. But most of the cities of the Decapolis are 10 cities. Decapolis meaning 10 cities in Greek. These cities, a couple of names, one of them's named Kanatha, the other one is called Pella, there's another one called Hippus. There are two of them right on the Sea of Galilee, and each one of those cities has their own major harbor. So Jesus has gone to Capernaum from the Jordan Valley. Matthew is one who doesn't use a calendar. You know, he doesn't say, on February the 3rd, you know, the year 30. What he says is he tells you what's going on by events. Now last week we talked about Jesus being tempted in the wilderness. God, the casting director of that particular adventure for Jesus, led Jesus out into the wilderness where he was tempted and challenged, and he overcame the challenge. Now we have Jesus' baptism, Jesus in the wilderness, and now we have this suddenly begin the second part of Matthew's gospel, which is Jesus' ministry. And it begins with this phrase, "Now when John the Baptist was arrested." What a way to begin. You don't know what's happened between Jesus being in the wilderness and John being arrested. Likely, Jesus has been a disciple of John. Jesus has been hanging out with John and his disciples, kind of learning what it is to be somebody who is a preacher and teacher. Now when John is arrested, change of plan. That's why the title of the sermon. Oh, you didn't look. Okay. Drop back and punt. It's appropriate for today, being Super Bowl Sunday. Drop back and punt. What does it refer to? Well, when you're playing football and you want to get to your first down, you've got 4 chances, right? You've got 4 chances to make those 10 yards. And if you are in your third try to make the 10 yards, and you've got 6 yards to go, and you've got a heck of an opposing team, you've got a choice to make. Because if you don't make those 10 yards on this 4th play, what's going to happen? You got to give the ball to the other team. So what people do is what a team does is they'll say, well, we're going to go for broke, we're going to drop back, and we're going to punt the ball to the other team, and the other team is going to have to go way back to catch it, and then we'll make headway that way. Hopefully we'll get to our first down, and we'll stop them within the 10 yards. There are commentators who will not agree with my assessment of Jesus' situation when I say that when John the Baptist was arrested, it was time to fade back and punt. We've all had plans in our life, and I don't know if Jesus had a plan. Jesus was a neophyte. He was a beginner. This was the very beginning of his ministry. And suddenly, his mentor, suddenly the man who baptized him is gone. So he takes off for parts in the north, out of the area of Judea. He gets to Judea, and he gets to Galilee, and what Matthew says to us is, he starts his ministry by quoting John the Baptist. The first thing he says is exactly what John the Baptist said. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven has come near. Well, that's not really original. Jesus. You're quoting Matthew, and you're quoting John the Baptist. So, what we see here, perhaps, is that we do have a beginner who hasn't found his own voice yet. Jesus has not found his voice. Everybody has the sense that he had a plan all along. He knew what he was going to be doing. Please. You don't have a plan like that. You don't know how you're going to appeal to people or how you're going to address crowds of people. You have no idea what you're going to preach or what you're going to say. This poor guy has one line that he learned from John the Baptist. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven has come near. Now, we know from the time that he spent in the wilderness that he has a voice, because he found his voice when he said to Satan, what did he say to